A gang armed with machetes hacked a secular blogger to death at his home in Dhaka on Friday. This is the fourth such murder in Bangladesh since the start of the year. And it's basically like we're living in a real-life horror movie now, especially secularists in Bangladesh. They're living in a horror movie right now, and they have to go around always, making sure nobody's trying to kill them. The AFP reports on this. They say, Niloy Chakrabarti, who used the pen name Niloy Neel, was the victim. They entered his room in the 5th floor and shoved his friend aside and then hacked him to death. He was a listed target of Islamist militants. I love this line in the article. They say, police confirmed Chakrabarti had been murdered by a group of half a dozen people, although they had no details on his background or the motive for the killing. The fuck are you talking about? You just told me the motive for the killing. He's a secular blogger, and the Islamists hacked him to death. What do you mean you don't know the motive? The motive is perfectly clear. Well, we're not 100% sure. Yes, you are. What are you talking about? They continue. Another secular blogger, who himself survived an attack by militants in Bangladesh in 2013, described Chakrabarti as an atheist freethinker whose posts appeared on several sites. He was critical against religions and wrote against Islamists, Hindus, and Buddhists, and fundamentalism, or I should say Islamist, Hindu, and Buddhist fundamentalism. He was a founding member of a rationalist organization. Activist groups say they fear that Islamist hit squads have hit lists which contain the full names and addresses of the bloggers. Yeah, this is absolutely positively fucking terrifying. And here's what everybody needs to understand. So, the problem is, in this case and in all the other cases, the 4 cases where this happened, so there's a fucking trend here, the problem is Islamism and fundamentalist Islam. So Islamism is political Islam, which says we're going to implement Islamic law and get the fuck out of the way if you block me. And of course, fundamentalist Islam is fundamentalist Islam. It's the literalist interpretation and the hardline conservative Islamic view. That's the problem. Now, again, it always makes sense to make the differentiation here. That doesn't mean that all Muslims are guilty of this, and that doesn't mean that even Islam is to blame. There are plenty of, secular Muslims and liberal Muslims. Reza Aslan comes to mind, Majid Nawaz comes to mind, Malala Yousafzai. There's a million of them. Way more than a million, actually, but you get the point. But here, don't make any mistake about it, man. There is no, hey, we need to blame Western imperialism for this, or hey, we need to point to poverty, economic circumstances. Those cases do exist, where you can say, hey, an increase of this radical ideology is directly tied to, whether it's in Iran or in the Palestinian territories, it's geopolitics, it's psychology, it's economics, it's a variety of different factors in a cocktail that led to these terrible actions. In this case, it's just Islamists, people who believe in political Islam, fundamentalist Muslims who say, we do not tolerate dissent. We're not compromising in this position. And we believe, based on our religion, that we should kill you if you're secular and you get in the way. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And they've done it 4 times now. And it's a systemic problem. It's a pattern that we're dealing with here. And you need to bring it to an end. And as I've said from day one, the best way to beat these guys in the realm of ideas is solidarity. So what would happen if tomorrow 65% of Bangladesh, of the citizens there, said, we're with the bloggers who were murdered, who were hacked to death, and now all of us are starting a secular blog, or they come up with something that shows solidarity, t-shirts, whatever, anything, a flag that you put up that says, I'm with the secular bloggers, whatever. Solidarity where you all stand together and say, look, so, okay, you disagree with us. You're not going to get us all, bitch. We outnumber you. You want to know why? Because you're wrong and we're right. You believe things that are untrue. We believe things that are true. You believe things that are dangerous and regressive and primitive. And we believe in Enlightenment principles. We believe in civil liberties. We actually embrace liberalism. And Bangladesh is a secular country. It just so happens that 90% of people who live there, though, are Muslim. And there's this now increasing risk with Islamists. And there's this increasing risk with fundamentalist Muslims. Again, Islam not necessarily the problem. Muslims not the problem. The problem is Islamism and fundamentalist Islam. And you have a tremendous problem here, man. And this needs to be addressed, certainly in the realm of ideas, and that's where we come in, but also when it comes to policies within that country. I mean, the government of Bangladesh should continue to crack down on Islamists and fundamentalist Muslims because they're not the oppressed here, guys. This is them being the oppressors of the atheists.